Right, first of all, the Trichology giveaway competition. I will be closing this competition at midnight tonight, British summertime, after which time any entries will not be counted and included in the draw. So if you want to be in with a chance of winning any of that gear, now is the time to get on there and leave your answer. And just on a final note on that, will people please just go back and have a look at the countries that are included in this draw, because if you don't live in one of those countries, I'm afraid you won't be able to receive your prize if your name is drawn. Right, let's get on. Now, I have to say, I have found this video to be a bit of a challenge to produce. First of all, I normally procure review items from Amazon simply because, generally speaking, it's more reliable, and secondly, if you have a problem, I found their customer care to be really good. So if you do have an issue, it can usually be resolved very quickly. On this occasion, I decided to try out that hive of scum and villainy. No, not Mos Eisley Spaceport, eBay. I've not used it for a long time, and I remember why now. One of the items never turned up, despite ordering it in plenty of time. The seller didn't mark it as dispatched until after I complained that I hadn't received it, but swears that it was dispatched. And the other item turned up with a part missing, and the attitude of the seller when he did eventually respond to my complaint seems to be that I'm being very unreasonable by expecting the toolkit to have arrived intact. Suffice to say that I'm £55 out of pocket, and I'm at the beginning of that steep and a slippery slope that is eBay's inadequate claim system. Luckily, I am an Amazon Prime member, so I was able to source the missing items quickly, and to that end, all the links that I will leave for the products in this video will be Amazon links. Now, the other problem, and this is a difficult one, over the last few months I have received a few comments and emails complaining that my product reviews cause people to spend money that they don't have, and as a result, wallets have been ravaged, bank accounts have been emptied, and marriages have been pushed almost to the point of divorce. Now, I'm really sorry about this. It isn't my intention to cause people these kind of problems. The aim of this channel is simply to bring products to your attention that I think you'll be interested in. Having said that, this is the beginning of the month. Everyone should have just got paid. So for this video, I decided to do something a little bit different by sort of going to the budget end of the tool spectrum, by picking out tools that I think none of you will really want. Right, so here we go. Now, I made no secret of the fact that this Burly tool roll really did impress me. It's classic, vintage, and very stylish. Now, for the purposes of this video, I can't really go back on what I said in the previous video, except to say that it has made this video harder to produce because its capacious dimensions means that it literally swallows tools. In fact, it reminds me of an ex-girlfriend. But to try to detract from that a little bit and make this video a success, what I decided to do was avoid the bright, shiny, high quality tools that would normally attract my attention, and instead seek out the strange, unusual and gimmicky tools that we all know rarely work as they say they should do. Now, my first thought was to go for cheap Chinese tools, but I found that the Chinese tend to give them a name that's embarrassing to pronounce, or a name that I'm unable to pronounce. And the first item that I settled on was this pair of Tekton slip joint pliers. They come in at well under £10, and they're finished in a rather uninspiring satin silver, some sort of cheap chrome plating, I think, with silly red handles that I think would look really out of place with this bag. Now, with a name like Tekton, I bought this thinking that it was actually Chinese, but then discovered that it's made in the USA, and that actually the specification is far higher than I initially thought it was. The manufacturers boast a host of technical features in the metallurgy that I'm not going to tell you about because it might persuade you to buy them. But in addition to the normal features of a pair of slip joint pliers, it also has a very handy wire cutter which unfortunately does work really well. And just to make matters worse, Tekton also furnish it with a lifetime guarantee. Okay, I maybe didn't do too well on that one, but the next one I did, because it definitely is made in China, albeit that it is made in China for a well-known American company. I chose it because it was a name that I didn't know, so I thought it wouldn't be any good. And that is the Crescent X6 range of tools. Now this is one of 3 from the Crescent X6 range that I've chosen to review, and it's a 7-piece combination spanner set. Now it's unusual in that not only does it have an open-ended ratcheting spanner, but also the ring spanner is of an unusual design. This range is called the X6 range because Crescent say that it will fit up to 6 types of fastener, and that is your normal hex fastener, your square fastener, your 12-point fastener, your external torx fastener, partially rounded hex, and spline fasteners. Now unfortunately I didn't have any of these particular types of fasteners to test it out on, so we're going to have to take Crescent's word for that. But obviously I did have some normal hex fasteners to try it out on and see just how rubbish this ratcheting open-ended spanner system is. Now the design at first glance is slightly unconventional, and it incorporates a spring-loaded pin. Now as you're tightening or unfastening a fastener with this head, this spring retracts while you're on the backward stroke and basically allows the head to cam around the fastener ready for your next power stroke. Now I expected this to be really awkward, and it is a bit of an odd feeling at first until you realise that all you have to do is push the spanner towards the fastener as you're returning for your next power stroke. And unfortunately it does seem to work rather well. I expected it to damage the actual fastener head itself, but it doesn't. I also expected it to slip because it doesn't look like it's a precision fit on the head, but unfortunately it doesn't. Then it occurred to me that this little spring-loaded pin would eventually break, but on examining it I realised that when it's actually activated there's very little pressure put on it, so that's unlikely. Now this is a 7-piece set that comprises of an 8 through to 17 millimeters, obviously missing out the not often used 11 and 16 millimeter. The only real downside that I can think of is that they're not bright and shiny as you would expect a spanner to be, because Crescent has chosen to finish them in a phosphorus based coating, the same sort of coating that they use to protect firearms and that kind of thing. So I suppose you would call it a sort of a dull gunmetal grey. And whilst I can imagine this kind of finish might be attractive to a style conscious secret agent that has a use for this stealthy finish in order to make some adjustments to the machine gun on his Aston Martin in the dead of night, I can't see this appealing to any self-respecting biker. Now obviously for use on a bike you wouldn't have to carry all of these spanners if you didn't want to. You could simply select the ones that you're most likely to use. But having said that, I did find that the BURLY tool roll accommodated them quite easily, and they actually only took up 2 pockets. Not that you would want to buy them obviously. Likewise, if you fancied some ring spanners, you might not want to consider these. Again, these are part of Crescent's X6 range, and it's basically 2 ratcheting double-ended spanners, and each end incorporates 2 metric sizes, covering 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17, and 19 millimeters. Now each end is basically split through the middle with one size on one side and the other size on the other side, and they're fully switchable for direction. Again, they come in the same stealth gunmetal grey, very futuristic design, not at all suited to this classic BURLY tool roll, and unfortunately on testing them they worked flawlessly. Which brings us on to the last of my items for the Crescent X6 range, and that is their pass-through ratchet socket set. Now at first glance this looks like any other ratchet for use with sockets, with what I think is a 3/8 inch drive. But that drive pops out. Oh, of course it does. And this ratchet is accompanied by a full set of sockets. Now it's a 20-piece set altogether, and it comprises of 1/2 standard sockets and 1/2 metric. Now I won't go through the standard Imperial or AF sockets, whatever you want to call them, because they're not going to apply to modern Bonneville owners, but for people with older bikes, or I believe with Harley Davidsons, these are obviously going to come in handy. The ratchet itself is in this case a polished gunmetal grey, so at least I can knock a style point off there because it doesn't match up completely with the rest of the range. And this is the item that I ran into problems with on eBay. Now in the metric sizes it should comprise of a 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17, 18 and 19mm. But my 18mm was missing and had been replaced with a duplicate 19mm. Now I'm not entirely sure how this has happened. The seller did say that it hadn't been on display in the shop, but having said that, the packaging did have one of those magnetic security tags attached, so I suspect it may have done. Again, on trying this out, it worked with flawless, boring predictability. And just to make matters worse, all these Crescent tools, of course, come with a lifetime guarantee. Now, the other things that I've put in this kit, obviously I've got my pen type tyre gauge, one actually of several that I own. I've also included a King Dick 1for6 screwdriver. Now, if you haven't seen these before, have a look through my videos. I did do a full review on these screwdrivers a few weeks ago. As usual, I've also put in there my Hagen C-spanner, so that I can adjust the suspension on my bike on the fly if necessary. And I got 2 sets of L keys from S&R of Germany. One is a full set of Torx keys and the other is a set of Allen keys. Now the Allen keys are the ball end type, and I have to admit here I wasn't paying attention to the size. I thought I was getting a standard set, but instead they were long reach. However, this Burly tool roll handled them as you would expect without a problem. Now it might be that there is no need to actually cram this many tools into a travelling tool pack, but at least what I do have here is a very comprehensive toolkit. Now I will say there may be 1 or 2 other small bits and pieces that I need to put in here to be able to use with the Bonnevilles. I'm still looking into that. And like I said, there is room for more. And despite my efforts to put together an eclectic, non-matching set of tools, actually I do think it looks rather good. But hopefully I have dissuaded you from buying any of these tools. If I've failed, however, and you decide that one or more of these items is a must-have for you, I will leave product links in the video description down below. Now be careful, especially with these Crescent tools, because there are some people that are charging an arm and a leg for them, and generally speaking each of these sets is only in the £25 to £30 bracket. So by all means shop around, but the links that I've left did at the time that this video has been published represent the cheapest I could find. Now I hope that you've enjoyed this tongue-in-cheek video and found it useful. If you have, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel. As always, thanks for watching. I'll be back on Wednesday with the Payday Project series. So until then, please ride safely and I'll see you soon.